I didn't start with a band. Saya start macam dari main suan karaoke gitu.
Okay.
I love to create. Masalah dia ni kan terpandai main instrumen langsung.
What brings you to create The Darkest Night?
I think kan dalam kehidupan kita, we have our dark side lah kan. It's something that we don't wanna show. Dalam ni album pun, I just wanted to open that side of myself, present it as an art. To finish 14 lagu dalam 1 tahun, saya rasa, penat tau, I felt so drained. I told myself, cuma kasih habis saja ini.
Bilang mau rilis lagu sama si Marsha lagi, dia bilang.
Oh my gosh.
Velvet and the Team tidak datang sini tangan kosong. Kita akan dihiburkan dengan performance-nya.
Oh yeah, can I sing my song?
Oh yes, please, yes please. Okay, welcome back. Selamat datang ke Steph It Up Lounge Podcast with Steph here. And today kita sudah sampai ke 31st episode, which is a milestone for us juga lah, since we started this year. And the reason why we started this podcast is to explore stories, inspiring stories daripada kita punya local professionals, artists, with the hope to inspire more people to be like them, or even more. So today kita ada another special guest in the studio, which is Velvet Adok.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Most welcome. Walaupun dekat saja kan di sebelah saja.
Berjalan kaki saja kami ini.
Your music career
Mhm.
kick off in 2006
Yes.
during Academy Fantasia.
Mhm.
Dan since then banyak lagu yang created, banyak lagu tercipta Melayu.
Mhm.
Dusun, but never English.
Mhm.
Betul kah? Kah ada juga English?
I think ada, but not macam in an album punya scale lah.
I see.
It's very sangat sikit. Satu dua begitu.
Oh, so very minimal lah, sikit
Yeah,
saja.
it's not something that I macam berani mau. I didn't.
Dwell into.
Yeah, I didn't want to travel to that water lah
I see.
at that time. Mhm.
Yeah. So that's the reason kita di sini. We want to talk about more on that area, on why on your journey to finally release like one big album of English songs, begitu.
Okay, so.
Dan
Uh-huh.
so tapi before that kan,
Okay.
let us explore your story dulu lah.
Mhm.
So I want to ask you, macam mana? Can you share like how you go into singing?
Okay. I think kan kalau menyanyi nih, it's been in me lah dari kecil lagi. Saya rasa saya ikut my father kali, more like my dad. Tapi it's something that I love doing since I was macam kecil, and I'm glad that macam my parents were supportive of what I do. And kalau kau bilang kan berapa umur saya start, saya ikut bintang kecil di sekolah rendah saya
Oh.
dulu. I think saya primary 2.
7-8 tahun.
8 tahun ya, first time yang kau berani lah,
Yeah.
begitu. So dari sana macam I started macam menyanyi-nyanyi lah yang suka-suka begitu. But memang I just love this side of the macam that type of art, which is singing, expressing yourself through music begitu.
Any particular person yang inspire kau kan?
Oke, kalau dulu
Yeah.
ini saya akan jawab bila saya masih budak lah kan, yang saya ikut tuh pertandingan menyanyi kan. So di sekolah tuh waktu itu tuh lagu yang sedang top is di Persimpangan Dilema oleh Nora.
Okay.
So saya rasa contoh ada 20 contestants kan, 19 bawa tuh lagu.
Kita kecil.
Saya satu orang aja bawa lagu lain begitu Pak.
Okay.
So imagine to judge yang sedang menulis kan itu aja lagu dia bilang. So everyone brought that song. Saya juga buat tuh lagu. So dari sana bila sudah habis tuh I started listening to Nora punya songs lah.
Okay.
Ya dari kecil lah kan sampai ya I like her as a singer begitu. I like how the way she writes the song. Itu kalau yang di Malaysia lah. Kalau macam yang orang putih dia bilang Saya ikut-ikut abang saya dengar, Bon Jovi,
Oke.
whatever 90s punya lah kan. So I grew up listening to those type of music and I think all of that influence macam what I am doing today lah.
So remembering back kalau that primary itu, ada like one person yang suruh kau join kah, kau sendiri memang mau join?
I think, my parents, ya. Sebab ada kan macam kalau di sekolah, it's not something yang bikin anxious sangat kalau school sebab semua kawan-kawan kau
Betul.
bertanding.
Iya betul.
So, it's something yang kita buat saya rasa kalau saya pikir sekarang macam kokem.
Iya.
Yeah, you just wanna join for fun. So it was actually joining for fun lah yang tidak kena pressure, kira macam activity sekolah begitu.
Oke.
Hmm.
Dan joining EF kena pressure kah tidak?
Tidak juga. My parents, apa yang saya suka kan they never pressured me into doing something, yang saya tidak suka. So they were very supportive lah. And yalah music lagi, you're venturing into music something that's really orang nampak di sini macam untuk activity suka-suka saja kan. But my parents never stopped me lah, macam they supported saja sampai sekarang lah.
Maksudnya your biggest influence are your parents lah.
Iya, I think my parents lah, ya.
Dan boleh cerita kah macam mana? Because I think interesting juga to share from your side, kau punya cerita. How did you join EF?
How did I join?
Yeah.
Actually kan yang EF, saya join yang EF yang the 4th season.
What season?
Yeah, so was so young then, 19 tahun. Tapi the year before, yang lepas saya habis Form 5 lah kan, I joined the audition for AF3 kah? And then I think, I was so young, I macam kau datang gitu saja, but you wanna be part of it lah kan. And then saya tidak dapat yang 3 punya.
Itu masa si Marsha juga kan?
Iya, saya dapat macam simpanan kah begitu.
Oke.
And then lepas itu came the next year lah kan. I was already doing like some training begitu yang bukan bidang nyanyian lah kan. And then there was an audition lagi lah. So I didn't wanna go sudah sebab macam saya bilang macam, buat apa mau pergi kan? I don't wanna go sudah this time, like macam malas sudah. I just don't wanna, macam nanti kau pergi begitu juga tidak juga karena pilih kan, so it's gonna be something very sedih lah, macam I don't wanna go through that anymore lah gitu kan. Macam you're being given hope. So I think that time my mom and dad lah suruh. Dia bilang, try lagi lah, kalau kamu pergi kasih try saja. So saya pergilah. Saya pergi, lepas tu saya dapatlah yang untuk season keempat. Ya.
And the rest is history lah.
Iya.
Tapi saya rasa one key point di sana, I think without the support, saya rasa kau tidak akan pergi ya.
Iya, sebab saya jenis yang nih, kadang-kadang cepat berputus asa. In a way macam, malas membuat terlampau high expectation on things kan. So, kalau satu kali, yalah kalau kau perempuan contoh, satu kali dia tidak mau, kau berhabis lagi kah?
Berhabis?
Tidak kan? Kau macam kalau dia tidak sudah dia bilang no kan, kau pergi lagi bah.
Tidak juga sensek.
Tidak lah kan, janganlah sensek begitu
Yeah.
bah, dia punya feeling kan, macam sensek juga balik-balik mau pergi gitu. Ketawa tuh, nah betul kan?
Tapi saya pun from that kan, apa saya nampak dia macam apa, kau takut untuk be disappointed bahkan.
Iya. And macam contoh kalau macam the second time tidak dapat, saya bilang lah the time kan, okay maybe this is not for me lah, begitu.
Dan over the course of I think now, sekarang berapa tahun sudah tuh? 2006 sampai sekarang. Kalau
17?
alah, match-nya gagal.
Saya pun sorry sama.
Oke, lama juga.
17 kan?
17.
Oke.
Lama juga lah. So sometimes kan music can be a tool for the self discovery.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Kalau kau, what do you think about this phrase?
It can be, and I think over the course of few years kan, kalau kau bilang ya self discovery, pasal kita mendedahkan diri kita kepada pelbagai genre yang ada dalam musik. So genre yang orang lain-lain genre nih, lain dia punya feel tau.
Hmm.
So saya rasa as you grow old kan, your music dalam masa yang sama it becomes mature lah as you age. So at that point kan macam saya rasa kau sudah start discovering your true self lah. Not your true self juga lah, macam actually this is what I've been wanting to do all my life gitu. This is the type of music that I love to listen. Macam it's actually gabungan yang dari kau kecil kau dengar sampai besar, dia jadi that type of music begitu.
Kau rasa kau punya taste in music sama ataupun different? Like when you're kids.
Dia masih sama juga. It's
Oh.
still macam dia round. I still go back to the music yang I used to listen when I was younger begitu, and it macam kau reminisce banyak benda. Dia macam perfume. Certain scent kan will remind you of some situation.
That is true.
Macam lagu pun, kalau kau dengar Britney Spears kan setingkatan 2 all the time kan. Macam every Britney Spears song will make you feel young.
Betul.
Good. Right, dude?
Betul, even food.
Yes.
Kan macam yang Ratatouille kan. Pernah
Betul.
dengar tuh?
Ya, ada. So ya, saya rasa musik pun begitu juga lah. Music macam dia bila kau sudah besar kau punya taste dia jadi lain. Macam kau mau kasih kurang garam sudah, contoh tidak sudah suka dengar yang high begitu kan. Kau mau yang ada yang mau pergi mellow, ada yang tiba-tiba jadi jazz begitu, mau to soul. Tapi depends lah on orang.
Kalau kau punya genre yang ataupun taste, kalau style yang kau paling minat sekarang apa kau rasa?
Saya
Ya.
saya suka faktor umur kali ini. Saya suka chill, laid back, yang easy listening, yang very soulful. Kalau music, ya saya suka dengar dia punya lyrics di dalam apa yang tuh orang coba sampaikan lah begitu, baru oh begini. Ada yang suka dengar ya music kan, but actually ya semua lah bah.
Betul. And even saya pun enjoy that kind of music. I think it's reflected dari kau punya latest album Darkest Night. I mean that time masa saya dengar that song memang I was at the back.
Apalagi orang Sabah mau kasih keluar English nih.
No, but honestly, saya suka that kind of song because saya enjoy. Saya pun sekarang bukanlah cakap berumur kan, saya pun muda lagi. Tapi I think saya punya taste sekarang saya suka saya enjoy music yang like relax, bikin kau bercerita, bikin kau just chill.
Ada vibe gitu kan.
So I was really into the music yang the latest album lah. And I think we can start cerita pasal your album lah kan.
Oke,
What
boleh.
is what brings you to create the Darkest Night?
I think kan dalam kehidupan kita kan we have our dark side lah kan. But it's something that we don't wanna show. Contoh macam dalam social media kan people will always show happiness, vanity, it's more to all those bah. Kalau kita tengok yang dari segi keburukan, heartbreaks, macam we don't see all that. We don't see the buruk side of media social because everyone wants to be nice, everyone wants to look nice there. So macam dalam ni album pun saya rasa I just wanted to open that side of myself, and saya mau kasih it's something that I keep, okay? Everything that I keep, I just wanna present it as an art in a way. Yeah. Something that you will probably jive to begitu, something that macam niche people saja yang maybe they will enjoy it, because I don't know. Kalau bila saya tengok ni album kan susah I wanna put a genre on it because it sounds so different lah. And when I let my close friends lah listen when I started doing this, it's like so different compared to my previous works kan. Orang bilang, apa sudah jadi sama kau nih, dia bilang.
There's a different feeling to it.
I came out with actually before saya kasih dengar The Boys, I came out with the single yang mula-mula is What Are You Doing With Someone Else's Husband. Saya dengar lah orang Andy, I think Brandon and Daryl, Debbie kan. So dorang anu lah Daryl, "Apa sudah jadi sama kau nih ya? Kau oke kah?" But at that time I just feel like yalah there's no harm in coming out with all these types of um lagu bah,
True.
saya rasa. Yeah, it's not that you're slandering pun kan.
Hmm.
It's just a song.
I think it's very emotional. I mean, even semasa di sana, even you said it yourself juga. This album is it's very close to you.
Yes, it
Dan
is.
it's very emotional for you.
Mhm,
Then I can see it through the performance lah.
mhm.
And can you so for example, let's pick one of the songs lah kan, or any songs.
Scary.
Yeah. Can you share like specific moments? Why do you create it?
Okay, pick lah one song.
There's a list of songs. Let's start with the first one lah.
Okay, Probably.
Yes.
Okay, Probably is a song I did few years back, I think 2 years back. And the other 13 songs I did it in 2023. So probably I think I was feeling down, yeah. And when I feel down, I would go to the bathroom and then saya rasa di jamban aku dapat suara yang ada reverb cantik bahkan. So I think it came out there. Terus saya lari lah pergi ke keyboard, transpose ya. And I just macam saya terbikin lah with the lyrics terus. And then I think waktu itu tiada orang kacau kan. So it feels like you're so into that type of feeling. And then it just becomes something lah. So and yang lagu dalam Probably itu dia macam buruk tau. Dia ada banyak bunyi luar. Because it's actually a song that I didn't re-record my vocals back since yang the first demo tuh saya tidak pernah re-record balik. Because when I tried doing it in 2023, saya tidak boleh rasa sudah
I see.
macam mana Probably feels during that recording. So saya bilang, kasih balance sejak lah with all the masters yang lain, kasih sama sejak biar dia sound macam dirty because it's memang ada bunyi pintu bertutup begitu. So Probably it's something sad lah. Yeah, I think I was so sad that time.
So maksudnya the one that we heard di sana, that was like 2-3 years punya recording.
Iya.
Punya suara.
Iya. Piano pun saya pakai and I transposed it. That's the only I can only play in C. So it's
sama lah.
begitulah. Habis itu lang, biarlah keluar begini, I don't know apa memput saya tidak mau taruh banyak sikit macam ngam saja begitu.
Can you pick like one that yang kau mau share the meaning?
So probably there's among the 14 lah kan. Satu saja kau bilang tuh kan.
No, I mean you can share a few lah, but which one do you think the highlight ataupun something yang
I like Darkest Night because I was talking crappy there. I don't know what I was saying. And then I like If I'm Not Good Enough. Yeah, I like Begin. Ya, sebab first time saya bukan cakap kotor lah. Tulis yang kotor-kotor lah kalau di sana kan. Macam, okay, I'm so big already. Begitu. Then my feeling is like, oh man, I'm an adult. If I were to write that when I was 16 or 17, my parents would be like, apa kau tulis ni? Macam, tidak mati boleh cakap begitu. Gitu kan. So, bila umur begini sudah kan, besar sudah saya, I won't be scolded. And like, it's free, but you have this freedom of writing. That's how I felt in Begin when I wrote it. Yeah.
Then I think I would say highlight is the Darkest Night. That's why you call it Darkest Night, I think.
Yeah, I love Darkest Night.
So why do you name your album Darkest Night?
Actually, I didn't want to name it Darkest Night lah. I just wanted to find something nice and cool name to the album lah. Tapi kan bila mau taruh all the words, like you can't name an album What Are You Doing With Someone Else's Husband kan, what is that? You can't put like Just a Fool kan. Get Out pun it's so punya buka tidak feng shui. You want people to listen but you want them to get out. So I said to myself like I want to find something that has a cool resonant dalam itu. Ya, dia punya resonance kan sangat syok lah konon lah. So it's like Darkest Night lah saya bilang. Ya, bila kau baca kapan, Darkest Night. Oh, that's something cool amongst all the lagu sana. But it's something yang saya tidak pernah bikin juga lah. Macam jenis musik yang saya tidak pernah express. So I feel like macam okay lah, we go with Darkest Night lah gitu.
There's a lot of feelings, you know, in that album.
Yeah.
Macam mana kau punya perception before releasing? Did you have macam would people accept this or not? Macam tu.
Yeah, actually I'm more into macam sekarang kan saya macam I wasn't as afraid of not having people to tune into my album macam sekarang, because this English album is also an impulsive decision to make, like an impulsive move. So, and kalau kau tengok lah kan di tempat kita, tiba-tiba kamu keluar English pun like, udah buang masa ba? You don't waste your time writing English songs ba ya in Sabah. Kan?
Ada juga itu begitulah.
We drive to lagu-lagu
Melayu
Sumazau gitu kan. So memang I knew, you know, it won't reach our people, and I was fine with it. I said macam okay, I just want to write something that I like. So siapa yang boleh resonate with my songs, I'll be like wow, okay, they can understand, they can feel it. So I was speaking to my sister lah. I said, but kan dalam ni lagu kan the lyrics are so, it's not explicit lah kan, but it talks about infidelity, betrayal. It's about being so broken. It talks about, you know, yalah, as a person, as a woman, as a man kan, you always feel like you're inadequate. Begitu dalam obat benda-benda, and especially in a relationship. So it talks about infidelity, how one becomes so hancur because of all those things, all those betrayals. So it's a feeling of sakit lah. Yeah. So saya cakap lah macam, mungkin kita perlu cari another name, not come out with Velvet lah, sebab nanti anak sedengar like why kan, like mama why you write like this gitu, and I know my kids listen to music juga kan, and then we wanted to come out with a name sudah tu macam pseudonym punya nama lah. But then after macam cakap kan susah-susah lagi nih, you wanna kasih tukar lah, register blah 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 everything, just dia bilang just keluar with the name je lah, macam we've got nothing to lose juga kan. It's like something fun to do lah. So yeah, I took it as it was a goal lah.
And surprisingly when you release di YouTube, banyak juga yang resonate with that song kan. Did you see the comments apa semua? Did you see the responses?
Yeah, I think people who has been in that situation, who feels the pain, or orang yang boleh merasa different type of brokenness kan, mungkin dia orang boleh macam layan lah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think kita punya topik today ya, dia sangat-sangat ngam dengan the previous podcast punya question, the previous guest punya question, which is at the end of the podcast baru saya akan tanya kau lah.
Okay.
Dia ngam sangat dengan kita punya topik today. And this song kan dia untuk show feeling macam tu. So maksudnya if there is one message for people for this song untuk diorang tangkap? What is it, do you think?
Heartbreak is not something that is easy to go through. Pain that you feel in your life is not something that you can just erase like that, begitu-begitu saja. And probably people who has gone through all these breakups kan, divorce contoh lah, ataupun dalam friendship kena si unfriend begitu kan. It's actually one of the most painful pain in the world, I can say. Selain daripada kena tabak-tabak lah kan.
Yeah, sure.
Ya, it's sakit in the hati kan. Kalau
betul.
kau ingat ya kalau kau kecil kan, sakit hati dia kan,
Ya,
dia pedas
saya boleh
di ulu
rasa.
hati begitu.
Ya, saya
So
boleh rasa.
it's that type of feeling yang macam sakit gitu.
Faham.
Ya. So it's ya lah, tidak happy lah di dalam tu lagu kan. Okay.
That's good to mention lah. I mean, so that people can catch the meaning behind the songs lah. So kadang-kadang orang bila dengar lagu dia, orang susah mau paham kan. Ya, but ya lah, music is something very wide. You can understand it however you want.
Betul.
Macam tu. Kalau mau dengar ini lagu, kalau mau stream ini lagu di mana?
Di semua online streaming platforms. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music. Di semua lah. Kalau you can get, it's on a physical album lah, it's macam ada digital album, and you can actually go to my website velvetadok.com untuk see macam the list lah and my previous music lah begitu.
Sure.
Yeah.
And cari saja Darkest Night kan.
Iya, boleh.
Darkest Night.
Yeah.
So kalau kamu tengok ini, kamu boleh terus cek di mana. velvetadok.com.
Iya.
Betul kan?
Boleh.
Yeah. So kita again in your musical journey lah kan. With this macam mana? Throughout your career, I mean everybody's career as musician, dia orang akan experience this evolving music industry. Dan you as a singer yourself, how do you macam adapt? So kadang-kadang kita mau stick dengan yang lama punya pun kadang-kadang orang rasa macam that's yesterday punya thing dia bilang.
Yeah.
How do you adapt?
So, okay, I started singing kan macam kalau live band dia, kalau dari kecil ada -1, ada karaoke kan, ada kaset kita beli di
Iya,
tamu
betul.
tuh yang ada original, instrumental dia bilang tuh kan. So, band pun I didn't start with a band. Saya start macam dari -1 karaoke gitu.
Okay.
So as I age, I love to create. Tapi masalah dia ni kan saya tidak pandai main instrumen langsung.
Keyboard bukan pandai pula.
Tidaklah, dia macam keyboard is just C. So
Okay.
you cannot travel to so many places with C bah.
Paham?
Dia perlu ada something kan. Dia perlu ada line chord bah. It's
Yeah.
like itu saja. So lepas tu okay, so how did it evolve lepas when I do my performance, kalau dulu sama RTM Titian Mesra pakai band, okay, kau nyanyi cover lagu orang lain, lepas tu performance lain pakai sequencer, dan di EF mostly kalau performance -1 tuh, -1 kau pergi shows pun corporate show -1 juga. Akan ada orang mau main band tapi jarang. And mostly I feel during that time muda lagi situ, saya rasa macam saya nyanyi covers saja bah. Ya, I never tulis original. Saya tulis tapi saya tidak berani mau kasih keluar macam saya tidak tahu dia macam mana kan. So saya belajar as I grow, I got married and you know I macam ada budak-budak kan. I learned lah at the same time to play music on GarageBand. The first generation of iPad. Saya belajar, I hated myself sebab saya orang bodoh, saya tidak pandai. Sampailah upgrade to iPad, try lagi, baru saya tahu macam mana mau taruh beat, mau taruh apa tuh yang dia punya metronom begitulah. And then I started making slowly lah. I would record it on my my voice notes gitu kan. So it becomes more not performing yang setakat kau nyanyi lagu cover saja kan during performance. It's something that jadi satu pekerjaan sudah. grab and go, ambil nyanyi, ciao pulang. I wanted to have something more connection to music lah, cause that's why I decided to macam okay, I should just kasih keluar dari lagu-lagu yang saya tulis. And plus I wasn't so busy with the kids, macam orang membesar sudah kan. I have more time for myself. So that was when macam saya ada berani-berani sedikit lah mau because selalu kok ada doubts kan macam.
Betul.
Kenapa pa mau kasih keluar begitu kan? So dari sana bila kau berani, it becomes something that dia jadi macam kau mau buat lagi. Maybe I want to experiment on this one. So I started experimenting, and I meet macam really good people around me lah. Macam Andy has been with me kan, kami buat sama-sama lagu gitar. And we have Brandon, I have A. These are the people yang ajar saya macam mana mau send files, wave files untuk mix, because I get so frustrated begitu. So yeah, it becomes like that lah. Begitu dia kira macam semua ni it's a DIY project with my friends begitu. It's something that we enjoy doing lah. Yeah.
Dan knowing about all of this, belajar this technical stuff allow you to be in that.
Tidak sekolah lagi Pak, punya susah itu.
Iya betul. Wow.
So dia begitu, tapi bukanlah I don't do all the music juga. I will definitely call Andy and Brandon to come in to play because my music macam ting tang 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 saja. Yeah, but you have the idea. So with that idea you can kasih translate with the guys Pak begitu. So it's like it becomes they juga dorang punya feel di dalam.
Betul. I think that highlights the importance of a team juga kan.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
Ya dorang geng keras lah gitu.
I mean, of course kita selalu ada that idea and then we wanna do it. Tapi if you do it alone, we can only go so far.
Yeah.
But with the team,
when you want to work with someone new, saya mau kerja sama kau, saya takut apa dia punya, we belum jive yet gitu kan.
Betul.
Jadi dia nervous. Nanti dia bilang saya tidak ikut dia punya idea. It's like that when you jumpa. Tapi macam with them kami sudah season lah bahkan kawan kenal lama. Baru you build that understanding lah dalam mau create a music begitu.
So with this team lah you are macam lebih confident untuk start your own production begitu. Yeah, macam because I have more help around me, people that wanna help me with the music and they also like it begitu. So I feel like okay guys, kita buat saja macam apa kita punya di sini kita enjoy saja buat this music lah. But I know they listen to different genres juga. Tapi I know kadang-kadang dorang terpaksa juga ikut apa saya mau lah begitu. For sure lah kan. Kita macam idea brainstorm lah kan.
They listen to different type of music tapi I think macam I enjoy doing it with these guys lah. Macam saya rasa sebab dorang punya pengetahuan dalam musik pun luas
Betul.
begitu.
Dan coming from somebody yang kau bilang kau tidak sekolah musik kan? Ada kan?
Tidak, saya tidak suka baca tauge. Cuma susah betul.
Tapi being able to create that production dan being able to untuk start belajar semua tuh that's something amazing.
It took a lot of lah juga macam time and frustrations. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it takes interest juga kan?
Oh ya, kalau kau minat janganlah kau buat. Buat apa itu? Mau tahu tuh wave semua kan, dapat ya.
So having started your own production, apa yang kamu do you take offers daripada people untuk contoh mau buat lagu? Do you do that as well?
For now no lah. Macam I just feel like I don't call it macam a production juga lah. I'm not a production house. I'm like a small fish lah kan begitu. It's like I can call it a passion project lah kan. I mean I don't call it a production. It's not something that we make money by doing all these things kan we don't make money you see. And it's something that we like and all of us are driven by passion.
Sure.
In music. Having to lagi apa tuh kita tinggal di Sabah lagi. Begitu macam memang sana saja kau. Okay. Kau buat di sana-sana saja. Yuk kau rilis pun di online saja. So kalau ikan tu makan tu umpan and then they stumble upon it then that's nice gitu. So it's something that you do for fun. It's something that you enjoy doing and I can say that macam the songs that I create kan Yeah, it's something that I enjoy doing. Ada juga beberapa lagu yang stress, tapi kalau kau tengok 90% it's something like shock, mau buat, I actually did this, we actually finished this thing gitu Pak.
Iya, betul.
Yeah,
Kan best juga kan kalau something you enjoy doing,
yeah,
kau kan you'll more appreciate it.
Yeah.
Macam mana? Kau kan the end product will be better if you enjoy doing it. Kalau kau stress buat tuh, kalau tidak suka, the end product will be
betul.
like how you feel it lah. Gitu.
And buat music semua nih kan takes a lot of time, Bah. Who would want to sit in a studio for hours doing all these things bahkan and kami nih yang when okay, I wanna talk about the English album
Yeah,
kan because it's
sure.
14 songs kan. Ada yang sudah kawin, Mbak. Kami sudah kawin. Like Andy saya ada anak bini, begitu laki untuk mau balik, dan we won't mau spend time untuk buat ini album ini satu lagu pun macam tidak 3 jam semalam tidak siap begitu. We have our commitments lah kan. So I was saying to them lah, saya cakap bila tuh bulan 1 ke bulan 2 tuh kan, dude, you think we can do it kah? Macam June sudah nih. And macam baru 5 yang we really nailed. And we have another
9 lagi.
berapa lagi di dalam and we wanna release this. Macam I think it's gila kan. Macam dorang Brandon lah, buat bully tuh lah. So macam okay, I don't know what else I wanna do. Macam it's so okay. At one point, well, when I tried to complete it kan, kita tulak yang mau cari dana semua nih lah. I mean, it depletes your savings lah kan. Mau buat, kalau ingat production,
Betul.
beli semua nih murah, enggak kan. So, memang it's like, wah macam mana mau buat gitu bah. That's the other part. And the other part is, to finish 14 lagu dalam 1 tahun. Sudahlah, my knowledge tidaklah banyak. I only dengar and bila main, I will ask them like, okay, the gitar mau yang begini-begini. It's begitu-gitu saja bah saya. I don't know macam semua ini. So they came up with the ideas also at the same time kan. So ada satu poin yang saya rasa penat I felt so drained. I don't know what else. I takut the rest of the songs will sound the same. Begitu.
Yeah.
So tapi buat juga lah macam okay, you have to be dalam that mood. Jadi banyak yang berlaku juga dalam ini tahun. Macam memang I felt macam I couldn't finish it. Tapi I said, daripada aku buat setengah-setengah all the time, most of the time, banyak things in your life you do setengah-setengah. I told myself, coba kasih habis saja ini. Like just finish it up. So I told them, I cannot bring this album to January. And then I pressure myself, and then so I told Debbie and I also said on social media yang my album will be out this year. Maka dia halfway baru but the songs are all there. It's just that dia belum siap. Jadi saya tipu kamu lah it's not done yet. Okay, I'm bullshitting see. So said I sudah janji, I cannot say alah guys it's gonna be in January.
Betul.
So I think August September baru menggagau nih guys, macam mau ujung tahun sudah. I think September I think macam we need to ada
Double
makan time sedikit lah kan. I mean if you guys are okay lah to do it kan, and yes they macam okay lah, semangat lah bahkan we have to finish it. So okay Deb, saya bilang kita 30th lah. Jadi memang berhabis lah mau siap before the 30th of November to get it all done. The mixing part, the music punya part, vocals, backing vocals, begitu. Sebab saya pun rasa apa yang saya tulis dalam tu lagu dia mau mati sudah. Saya tidak boleh rasa sudah bila kau nyanyi balik kan. Macam I'm not dwelling into that type of feeling sudah at that point. Apalagi January.
Betul. Wah.
Ya begitulah.
The backstory behind the songs kan.
Yeah.
The finished songs. Wah, bukan rainbows and butterflies diulang saja tapi di sebalik gila. Begitu rupanya.
Yeah, but it's kalau kau tengok overall dia fun lah.
Yeah, betul.
Yeah, because I have like the right people around me, like they're very positive gitu. Yeah.
So having this team, having this production, your team, apa impact kau rasa? What is the impact you want to, let's say legacy lah. What's the legacy you want to kasih tinggal?
Well, I just treat my music as something artsy. Like, I treat it as a work of art, and kalau kau bilang legacy, kalau in the future kan, macam kalau anak-anak muda tengok balik, dia orang tengok macam mana itu music. Kira kita punya time waktu tu kita jadi oldies sudah kan. Jadi yang budak-budak yang 30 tahun, dia orang, oh begini pula, this is how Sabahan punya music sounds like yang dulu, yang nenek-nenek gitu kan.
Okay.
And just saya rasa kalau musik nih kan, it's something yang tidak pandai tua lah juga.
Saya rasa lah, betul.
And my
Timeless lah.
kids listens to 70s kan, balik yang, oh balik lagi nih lagu. Sebab dorang tengok tuh movie yang Hooked on a Feeling itu semua tuh kan, balik lagi tuh lagu dulu-dulu kan. So itu yang dorang dengar sekarang pasal tuh movie dorang tengok begitu. So I think dia adalah satu cara kau preserve and art kan dalam bentuk lagu lah.
True.
Dia tidak boleh expire, bangas gitu kan.
Ya betul.
Betul.
I agree with that.
Jawab. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, tapi betul lah. Saya pun agree juga, because saya growing up with a lot of macam abang-abang yang jauh 20 tahun lebih tua, years berapa belas tahun lebih tua. So saya pun enjoy the oldie songs. So membesar sampai sekarang, I still enjoy the songs yang dia orang rasa, oh ini berlalu sudah banyak, tapi saya still enjoy begitu. So I think it's true lah, they're timeless bahkan these songs.
Betul.
There's a lot of things yang kita, especially on the album, it's very
Thank
di
you.
sebalik the beautiful songs, there are fun stories behind it. And honestly, because you said you're very busy, commitment apa semua, how do you juggle your time between being a satu radio announcer, another singer songwriter, and being a family woman? How do you juggle?
I think it's something yang macam dia jadi rutin sudah lah kalau sekarang kan. And I think being based in KK, it makes your life more subtle. Dia relax kan, macam tidak apa-apa sudah kamu kejar di sini, kamu masih besar budak kan. But dia more relax kalau berbanding kalau kau tinggal di Kiala in a way.
For sure.
So people, ada juga orang tanya lah like, why do I want to be based here? And yalah, based on your question, macam how do I juggle? I think di sini I am more relaxed. My radio punya time pun, there is a specific time in a day. I still go to work all the time, every day. So itu ada masa dia. So songwriting I can proceed also at the office. So when my kids contohnya sudah pergi sekolah begitu, I can have a little bit of my time sedikit to finish up. If not, I can finish it at work or when they are all asleep kan begitu. So it's easier when they are bigger lah.
Okay.
Bila yang dorang baby memang susah. It's like 100% hands on. So I just feel like now I am like freer in a way. I can do things that are like more lah.
Berapa umur sudah orang?
Doi besar
Boleh saya
sudah.
tanya kah?
Yang paling tua is 14 sudah.
Okay.
So
Oh,
yang muda pun sekolah sudah lah.
Pandai sudah lah kan.
Pandai sudah.
Pandai sudah buat lah.
Anak suruh kau pergi take this, do this, do that. Orang pandai sudah. Yang bukan yang kau mau bubut-bubut lagi lah.
Iya, betul. Senang urus.
Saya rasa kalau zaman yang mau bubut-bubut, satu lagu pun susah mau buat. Kan Indi?
Sandy pun berdasarkan pengalaman betul ya kan?
Memang mau bubut-bubut lah ya. Masih bubut-bubut.
So sekarang kan honestly, kalau your free time, what do you do for your fulfillment ataupun enjoy?
I like to stay at home. I have a very small circle of friends. So I like to hang out with my friends. But I spend most of, kalau bukan saya di tempat kerja, I hang out with the friends, the guys. I'll be at home with my kids, with the family. I love baking, I love cooking. I like to be at home lah.
Okay.
Betul kan?
Betul kata Debbie.
Buruk, boring mah kehidupan saya sebenarnya.
Mana ada asyap lah itu.
Macam yang iya sana. Kalau kau bilang pergi pub macam
Ah, tidaklah.
ya dia serasa tua sekali ya.
Lain sudah
Ya
makan,
lain sudah.
lain sudah apa kau rasa enjoy makan? Ya.
Tidak sudah mau bercakap yang teriak-teriak.
Oh, tidak salah. Betul. Dan begitulah yang masa feeling dia masa ada listening party. It's very chill, very enjoy kau bercerita pun boleh. Tapi masa tuh susah mau bercerita lah sebab terlampau fokus on the songs.
Iya,
Syok lah, syok.
habis I get anxious kalau ramai orang.
Oh really?
Saya rasa macam why do I have to put this type of pressure on myself gitu kan to do all these things, this listening party. I just want something that's chill, people come. Saya bilang sama dia, okay guys, we do sini, okay, we pinjam the office because this is where we wrote the song, all the songs, like mostly kan masa tu sana saja. And kalau kita buat di tempat lain, I get so pressured, and then it's something that you wanna kau jadi jigi bah.
Betul.
So kami bilang okay, we bring people yang memang dirang datang, dirang mau pergi pub yang ada light music, sama mau minum, sama dengar music dari speaker. Itu punya vibe kita buat yang chill, like what we like lah kan. So we created that type of vibe lah for these special people lah, yang kamu orang semua kan, yang you can eat whatever you want, you can drink berapa set kau mau, begitu saja. It's like something very nice and tidak pressure. Yeah.
I love that lah, Karena pada lagi lah pas nih.
Ada pada album lagi lah kan. Cina punya album boleh.
Yeah. So macam I think kau nampak juga I posted macam a post on Instagram kan. Apa viewers mau tanya untuk kau. Kau ada nampak atau post? I think Debbie ada nampak kan?
Saya tidak nampak.
Yeah, so ada this post, it says tanya soal untuk Velvet. So adalah peminat tanya kan.
Takut.
Tapi tidak banyak lah.
Okay.
Sudah filter sedikit.
Okay.
So saya start lah. Dorang punya soalan orang. Just wondering, Velvet tidak plan untuk buat lagu rohani atau lagu Christmas kah?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Christmas sudah ada. A single lah. I made 2 singles in English a few years back. It's called All I Want for Christmas Is You, and also Christmas Is Coming. So it's on streaming platforms lah. It's been out for a few years sudah. Sama lagu rohani, that's a nice question loh. Actually kan sebelum saya buat semua ni kan, ada saya ikut saya punya church lah, macam record lagu rohani. Saya rasa umur saya tingkatan 2,
Oh kalau masuk.
tingkatan 3 begitu. So kami adalah album kaset itu.
Oh.
Ya.
Masih lanjut kah itu?
Tidak tahu.
Alamak.
And I remember that time. Tidak tahu kalau kamu tahu nih kan, kami record di Most Music di Asia City. Most Music Studio the time. Kecil lagi saya Tapi saya ikutlah cousin saya. Buat itu lagu rohani lah begitu. Iya.
Wow, maksudnya ada sudah tapi tidak pernah keluar.
Siapa yang terjumpa lah.
Mungkin kawan-kawan kau masih ada.
Apa tuh?
Itu kau punya cousin mungkin masih ada itu keset. Kalau ada lah.
Ya, should have lah.
Cari.
Kalau ada lah.
So ada plan mau buat lagi kah after this?
Time will tell lah kan.
Sure. Okay, I think that's answer.
Jauh sudah.
Okay, the next question. Bila mau rilis lagu sama si Marsha lagi, dia bilang.
Kami ada lagu. Sebenarnya it's supposed to be released sudah ini tahun. It's part of what we wanted to do lah, macam menyelikan. So we have a song coming out in January. It's supposed to be out in September, but it got delayed, and it's actually a song that we macam got we got a support from the government, from KKD.
Lagi dusun nih kata Zan.
Tidak, it's lagu kami buat lagu Borneo, macam Sabah Sarawak. And it speaks about how you love your Sabah and Sarawak lah in a way, like what what you would do to protect your state, your
Okay.
your country, begitu. Cause like Sabah is ours, but we love Sabah, see. So I would die for you, man, gitu. So it's like that lah
That's the idea
lagu.
lah.
It's called War Cry.
Wow, nice,
So
nice.
in that song, it's a project between me, Marsha, and also Alena Murang.
Wow.
Yeah, the Sape
Yeah,
kan?
Sape.
Yeah. So it's something that I think dalam itu lagu lah kan kami mewakili Sabah Sarawak
Sure.
untuk kasih dalam
To
satu
express,
lagu lah, ya begitu. But it sounds different than compared to our previous projects lah sesama Masya punya. Ini lain mungkin.
Wow.
Kalau yang dengar apa nih? So weird, gitu. It's something that we enjoy doing juga ya.
Wow, I
And we
think-
were excited for the release tau this year, but then
Wow, okay.
we had to adalah few things macam yang terpaksa tergendala because video sudah siap, lagu sudah siap, everything is done, tinggal mau release. So we decided to release it in January.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's something new lah.
Wow,
from
okay,
us,
with the
yeah.
Sape semua. Wow,
Yeah,
that'll be
so-
awesome.
Something that we been wanting to do. and
Never kan sebelumnya tidak
Tidak
pernah.
pernah lah. Memang I've always wanted to work with Alena.
Yeah.
So this time around I get to work with Alena and also
Masya.
Masya. Kami macam 3 orang, so it's like something fun nih, something nice lah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we expect next year lah kan?
Ya, January ya.
Yeah. Bulan depan sudah, silakan dekat sudah.
Oh iya bahkan.
Okay, next question. Ada 2 lagi. Apakah idea Anda supaya artis tempatan Sabah dapat bertahan dalam industri musik?
Idea. Saya tidak idea juga lah kan, but I think kan what we need lah. Kalau di Sabah nih semua orang driven by passion. Bila hilang satu, bila mati kan macam kau malas sudah membuat. Because kenapa kau rasa kau di sana-sana saja. And I think kan we should have this jenis resilience lah untuk mereka yang suka music kan, dan we should have that untuk we continue doing lah macam supaya kita boleh ada benda-benda baru saja kan. Dan and it's not something easy. So with all these things it requires money juga.
Betul.
And that's why orang macam tidak mau jadi musicians, penyanyi, sebab it doesn't put rice on the table lah in a way. It's something hard lah. It's music kan kalau di sini dia untuk suka-suka aja orang bilang. So saya tahu orang pun yang artis di sini pun orang rasa down lah begitu. So but kalau untuk kasih kan just keep writing, just do what you like. Kalau sudah tiba masa yang kau bilang kau tidak mau sudah, just stop. But if you still want to do it, just do it. It's always driven by passion lah. Tapi kalau kita tengok yang masih buat kan, someone that I really look up to juga macam it's Francis Landong.
Ya, betul.
No, he's always out with new songs and he's still singing kan. Dia macam lagu dia is something yang we live with bah.
Iya.
So he is the contoh yang tidak pernah stop tau di
living
Sabah,
proof
and
lah.
he's based in Sabah, and he's doing great gitu.
Ya.
Dia pas umur si Angkol kan dia masih nyanyi, masih smart lah suara dia begitu. So he's one of the contoh yang orang bilang ya aku tidak boleh survive in Sabah kan. Look at him,
True, I agree.
still standing strong.
Agreed. And also kalau, another point to add lah kan. That's very true. Living proof ya, Uncle ataupun Datuk sekarang, Datuk Francis Landong.
yes.
So another point is to add, if you want to stay in this industry, you have to have bigger goals lah. Contoh macam you want to go international, even macam Yuna kan, macam contoh lah Yuna. If you have bigger goals, you will always have that macam drive to go. So for example, shoot for the stars, dia bilang maybe you'll land on the moon, begitu. So macam mindset lah. Kalau kita tidak sampai our biggest goal pun, kita sudah ada achievement yang worth di Sabah or even Malaysia
Yeah,
as a whole.
what you're saying is like right juga kan. But I bet semua artis-artis kita di Sabahan sih kan, these creative group of people yang ada banyak di Sabah nih.
True.
They definitely have dorang punya dream. You say like to be like Yuna and to go international. Of course ada. Macam when I was younger, I wanna be known as a singer begitu. But I think kita punya artis di Sabah dong, they wanna do it and they have the potential tau. And some of them are really really good. It's just that they cannot pursue further sebab kalau di Sabah sampai sini saja. Why? Maybe sebab dorang tiada, you need money to do all this. Contoh, even to go to be based in Kuala Lumpur, if you're a newbie, you need money to go
Betul.
to Kuala Lumpur and spend a lot to hire publicists or maybe to get a chance to be signed by a label di sana. Tapi belum tentu the label will take care of you so well or even push your song. But then di sana kau tanam your hopes. Ini orang-orang muda memang dorang akan tanam their hopes. They wanna be, and I know their passion. They wanna be known. But I think they need to be supported.
True.
They have perlu ada, because art is sesuatu yang sangat soft bukan semua orang faham art.
Betul.
That's why orang tengok art ini sebagai sesuatu yang remeh-temeh, and belum ada orang berani lagi mau invest in this type of segment lah. Macam contoh, saya boleh invest dalam, kau mau jadi kau mau jadi arkitek, you go, engineer, go, I can put money. Tapi dalam art ni orang tak berani because I think they don't see the potential.
True.
In investing into this industry untuk kasih maju orang kita pergi luar. Syok banget tengok orang-orang kita berjaya.
Betul.
Bukan di Malaysia saja, di luar. But most of them yang berjaya are the ones who are probably privileged enough to be able to have yalah kehidupan yang senang. Parents can send you there to make it big there. Baru bila kau sudah besar sana, then you
True.
karena kenal sini.
Yeah.
So orang kita sangat kreatif, but they just don't have the means to do it.
Betul. I agree.
Now ada banyak chance because I think dengan ada semua ni online streaming, YouTube, ada boleh masuk, but we need a bigger badan to help our creative people. Yeah.
Even I think just recently Yuna punya story juga lah. I think she posted online. She shared her story yang Malaysia versus US punya response on supporting music begitu. I think that's one post lah. I wonder if you've seen it already. Tapi the response for Malaysian is different dengan US punya support on music macam tu.
Dorang advance lagi akan dorang macam kalau dorang music sana, I will pay for this to watch. Just a normal artist. Kalau kita sini bukan free kah?
Yeah, exactly. That's mindset sekarang. Kita
So,
punya mindset di sini.
But memang bukan, music is not free lah. I mean,
Betul.
our artists, kita punya musician sini, they spend an amount of money to also kasih bagus orang punya mainan.
Betul.
Go for vocal classes kan, and all of this kan involves money. And I think kan, as long as you pay them nicely, they will feel like, oh okay, now I feel that what I've been doing all these years gets appreciated.
Yes, betul.
Yeah. Adalah, bukan saya bilang semua lah, but certain adalah yang mindset yang masih lagi tidak budget kami ni, boleh kah kontra, something like that lah. It's something that we shouldn't practice lah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Has to be changed lah.
Yeah, to mindset. Tapi dalam masa yang sama, kalau kau ada event-event music juga main, lagu-lagu juga kan begitu. So
Sure.
I think it's about time orang-orang kita dapat macam at least they get appreciated, and ada places for them to kasih gilap diorang punya bakat begitu. Mungkin contoh kalau ada dana untuk help them, tapi banyak macam World Championship semua tuh
Iya,
kan yang
iya, iya.
sekolah rendah kayak gitu kan.
Hmm.
It's nice. Dia bagi kalau kita di sini sejak sini coba mindset kan.
Mhm.
If your music goes out there, you see macam mana orang di sana buat music kan. Kau punya minda jadi vast.
Mhm, mhm.
And macam kalau kau dengar banyak jenis genre music kan lagi vast kau punya
Agreed.
pengetahuan begitu. So I think orang kita sangat kreatif. We just need itu yang we
Support.
just need support. Ya.
Support. Ya, dengarnya.
Saya bercakap yang macam aktivis semua kan.
No, tapi
But we need it.
ya betul.
I mean, I'm from this creative industry and I really feel for our creative people macam you know they juggle between jobs but diorang suka mau jadi
Betul.
kayak diorang suka jadi musician
Entertainer.
contoh entertainer jadi macam keyboardist, pianis semua kan but tengah hari saya perlu kerja office.
Iya, iya, iya,
You
betul.
cannot kasih dia sebagai full time job begitu. So it's something
It doesn't pay now.
ya kesian bahkan ya begitu. And I don't even survive doing music ya pun. I have a day job
Betul,
Ya.
betul, agree.
begitu because you put so much on your music. So it's a struggling scene di sini. I can say that. But then it's not orang kita punya fault. We just don't have the chance to show off our talents begitu. Ya, tapi ada banyak tempat yang boleh di show lah. We've got local radio stations here juga. We have podcast, kan.
Ya,
We have TikTok, YouTube, and all. Ya, dari sana dia kasih naik lagi semangat orang muda balik. Oh, saya mau buat lagi sebab ada 500 views. I
Iya,
wanna
iya,
make
iya,
more. Ya,
And even memang I think it's gonna take a long time di sini.
ya.
Gonna
It's
take a
not
long
gonna
time.
be macam kau bangun besok, oh maju.
Oh, memang
No.
tidak akan lah.
Yeah, it needs a lot of effort. Kan you need the right people
Betul.
to get the right funding to fund our people and not use it untuk suka-suka. Dia perlu ada betul-betul orang yang passionate mau kasih bangun ini
That is true.
music scene. Bukan saya music scene macam the art punya scene di Sabah begitu.
100% agree. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
although one thing to add juga, memang benda ini akan lama lah, you know, to change. But kita adapt with the situation where we have macam, you know, you can do macam mob punya performance out there di
Yeah,
sana
yeah,
untuk
yeah.
kasih macam apa yang di US sedang buat lah, you know, the Crash Adams
Ya,
buat. So I think examples we can follow.
ya. Banyak sudah bagus-bagus bah quality orang-orang kita.
Yeah.
Macam saya kerja di radio kan, I can see lah dia punya evolusi. Macam, oh, Wismat, oh sound dorang ni Andy sebelum mana? Dari mana? Dorang dunia gitu ya.
Kamu yang tahu kan, kamu
creative.
lebih tahu ya.
Kau boleh tahu lah dari 2016 bila the radio first open, jenis-jenis lagu yang di send, it's like that, tapi dia this ada this, macam mana dia keluarin lagu gitu,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like something in Dusun, in Bajau, it's different, and ada yang memang cun lah yang sayang lah kalau dia tidak keluar next single gitu.
Iya, iya, iya. Dan kamu yang nampak itu lagu kamu
Ya,
lebih.
nampak lah dia punya
Yeah.
peningkatan di sana. Ya,
Tapi I think that's good news lah, good news.
iya.
Good news for us.
Pelan-pelan lah
Ya,
kan.
pelan-pelan. Step by step. Oke, thank you. Dan akhir sekali daripada kita punya listeners dan viewers, apa cita-cita Wilbert kalau bukan menyanyi?
Oh iya kan, kalau bukan menyanyi so menyanyi is memang in the list lah kan dulu. Tapi saya tahu I would end up where lah, I ended up here lah kan juga. Tapi kalau bukan, I would probably be in a kitchen or a pastry kitchen baking cakes and feeding myself with all those things. I just love to eat. Yeah, I'll be doing that lah. Sebab kalau kau bilang saya mau jadi engineer, memang saya rasa bukanlah pasal punya side tu begitu bahkan. Some people have those types of dreams which is so good kan. Why I cannot be so orang-orang scientific ini. Orang sains gitu. It's so
Bukan lah, not in the list lah.
sebelah yang yang suka berangan-angan sana, sebelah lain jenis otak. Dia bilang begitu.
Iya betul. Ada dua lubang kan.
Iya.
Lebih kepada kreatifnya side kan.
Iya.
Betul. Paham? Saya pun begitu juga. Saya study electric electronic engineering.
Punya pandai kau.
Tidak. Tapi di sini saya minat di sini.
Kok ambil apa? Engineering.
Engineering.
Oke, kenapa kok pindah sini? I mean, ya it's jauh tau.
Sangat jauh.
Kok kira-kira main anu kan tiba-tiba kau mau sebelah entertainment,
Iya.
yang engineering lagi banyak duit. And then,
Tidak tahu lah.
iya begitu macam orang bilang kan, bila kau besar, oke kau jadi engineer lah, kau jadi
Nah,
dokter,
jurutera
jadi
lah kan.
cigu,
Iya, iya,
arsitek.
betul.
That's tidak lah orang bilang kau jadi penyanyi. Kalau dalam biodata di sekolah kan,
Saya rasa tidak lah.
tidak. It's
Jarang,
something
jarang,
that you don't even, cikgu penembak apa penyanyi. Dia bilang nggak begitu. It's so, why did you go to this side of the brain?
Saya dari kecil, saya ada abang dia fotografer. I mean, dia punya freelance job lah. Saya selalu ikut dia. Dan saya always expose. I have another brother yang suka melukis. So from dia orang punya pengalaman ni kan, saya expose to dia orang punya daily life apa semua. So saya lebih expose kepada this creative punya things, Pak. So over the time saya pergi belajar, over here and there, saya still masih buat fotografi as a side job. So that's why sambil belajar, sambil buat itu job kan, dan saya lebih enjoy lebih kepada that creative industry punya side. So that's why I, bila sudah graduate, saya tidak mencari engineering job, lebih kepada sini.
Wah, boleh tahan
Ya,
no?
macam tu. So that's how lah.
That's nice.
Ya, tapi kita punya, I'm not sure left or right lah, tapi kita
Left
think
betul kan?
sama lah.
Am I right brainer kah left?
Oh, ini creative brain kah? Right side kah?
Ingat mau tahu pun bodoh berarti tahu mana.
Saya pun lupa.
Aduh, oke.
Okay, so that's the end of the viewers punya questions. Thank you so much.
Thank
Toto.
you.
Dan akhirnya kita go to end punya soalan. Okay? So dia punya soalan macam ni. So reflecting upon the situation yang sedang berlaku sekarang, just recently ada the kid yang pergi stab the orang tua kan.
Oh, oke.
Yeah, so dan ada juga kids ataupun students yang depression, bunuh diri semua. So soalan dari CN, bagaimana kau melihat situasi di masa kini apabila banyak kejadian yang jarang berlaku sekarang ramai banyak yang berlaku? Contoh bunuh diri, menikah. Apa pandangan Velvet tentang kenapa ini boleh berlaku?
Well, the lives we used to live 30 years back is so different from what kita ada sekarang tau. So time kita kan we weren't exposed to all these things. Kalau dulu it's a taboo type of topic. Bunuh
betul.
diri kalau nyunisin TV3 RTM gitu kan.
Betul.
Mau ada handphone pun tidak.
Ya.
So as the time goes by kan, people, even ourselves, we get exposed to so many things. Kan ada social media semua ni. So banyak lah kau nampak, everything is feeding your head. In TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. So dia jadi, habis dulu contoh, whatever we go through, dulu yang macam nampak macam illegal pun sekarang it becomes legal kan. So time kita, jadi kita bilang nampak budak kita yang macam suddenly talks about depression, about all these things that we weren't supposed to say when we were kids kan. Why you all say that begitu kan?
Yeah.
But then actually kan dia pasal exposure lah nih, what we expose ourselves to. So too much of all those things at this age pun I think it's not good, especially untuk anak-anak muda yang sangat exposed to it, social media and stuff. You want to live that type of life, a life that you cannot even have it makes them sad, it makes them depressed,
Yeah.
and you see dalam TV orang PG-13 dia bilang, tapi ada gory things, and then yang budak tidak faham, dia orang tengok and they will think that it's something
Normal.
okay to do. So I think perlu ada control lah from what we let ourselves see, especially untuk budak-budak, so that it doesn't eat them too much lah. Macam kalau kita yang mungkin berumur, we dwell into it juga, but we are able to control it. Once you start feeling shitty about yourself, then you stop first begitu. Kalau budak tidak, still want to feed themselves gitu. So I think it starts probably from the family punya how they don't kind of exposed to all these things. and macam we don't normalize suicidal thoughts begitu, we don't normalize stabbing, you know, it's something very wrong ba.
Betul.
Kalau macam Roblox pun ada kan begitu.
Iya
So
ada.
dia begitulah dia jadi. So it's susah mau control because you want, dia akan cakap you want, kita akan cakap they tidak tinggal di tempat kita 30 years ago bah, so they don't know. Dia akan rasa, kita akan rasa macam dia rebel saja selalu. And we don't know how to, macam mana mau masuk
Iya,
sama budak-budak punya thoughts sekarang. So it's different. So I think dia perlu banyak, I think we need to just spend time, give more attention to all these things lah. Sebab dia, it's something that we should pandang serius juga lah. You don't see stabbings kan macam dulu. And the one hari tu 13-year-old tu kan,
13-year-old kid.
young man. Yeah,
Hmm.
macam it's something, dia bukan orang bilang normalize lah, tapi in time to come kan dia jadi sesuatu normal sudah begitu. So you just need control lah kali. Yeah,
True.
and less exposure
Control, yeah.
and educate them more.
And probably more conversation between you and that person,
Yeah.
the kid probably.
And yeah, macam at this age memang susah kan.
Yeah, most of them.
Even kita parents pun on our phones kan, we're busy with
Yeah,
our
yeah.
begitu. That's a sad reality. But then yalah, I think kita tahu lah macam mana mau control tu kan.
Betul,
Yeah.
betul, betul. Perlu ada realization lah kan
Yeah,
in that family. Okay,
yeah.
thank you
You're
Mehmet,
welcome.
for that answer. Dan sekarang kau berpeluang untuk tanya soalan kepada next guest.
Oh, okay. Oh, ini Enza Vera kah?
Iya.
And dia bagi yang susah saya mau jawab. Okay, kau save lah nih soalannya. Alright, I bet in your lifetime you have been macam really disappointed, really down, sampai you don't want to do the things that you do anymore, and macam you feel useless because you tend to compare yourselves with your peers yang sudah happy sudah, they're like so successful and stuff, and you're still there. So how did you manage to go through that and be where you are today? Ching, I don't know who that guest is lah, tapi
Alright.
he or she must be someone prominent lah kan? Dia ada nih kan, siapa?
Tidak belum lagi. Mana list?
Oh, benci. Mungkin sekarang dia percaya sudah nih kan?
Ya, ya.
Nah, mesti at one point of his life he feels he feels useless.
Iya, iya. Mesti ada itu.
Ada tuh kan? So how did dia,
Manager.
ya, dia jadi dia sekarang gitu?
Oke. Oke,
Apa dia
thank you.
buat?
I think this is great question.
So adult, so mature.
Oke. Again, thank you so much sebab reach out.
Oh my gosh.
Bukan
thank
saya yang
you
reach out this
for
time,
having me. Yeah, like I saw you on, I saw his conversations on the podcast gitu. So maybe we can try, to like get an interview with si Stefanus kan. Kalau dia layan lah.
Oh, mesti lah ya. Sabar lagi. But
So,
again,
yeah.
but again, thank you so much
Thank you so much
for reaching
having
out.
me.
I'm really glad actually.
Thank you.
And being able to share your story and for people to know about your story, for people to engage and ask you questions and you answering them
I
yourself.
hope I made sense.
Oh, you definitely made sense.
Okay.
Yeah, and I enjoy the time here. I enjoy the time with you
Thank
today.
you so much for having me.
Yeah, most welcome. Debbie again, thank you so much, Debbie. Again, kalau mau stream the song Dakus
Darkest night.
Night.
Yeah.
Dakus mau cakap Dakus Hour. Dakus Night. boleh pergi
Bukan happy hour.
boleh pergi velvetaduk.com
Yes.
and just cari the songs di sana.
Yeah.
Velvet and the team tidak datang sini tangan kosong. Kita akan dihiburkan dengan performance kan.
Oh yeah. Can I sing my song?
Oh yes,
Jangan-
please. Yes, please.
Yeah, we're planning to have a showcase tau.
Oh yeah.
Like in 2024, just to present the whole album in live, pakai live band
Oh,
with the band. So yeah, you can see the update on my my socials.
Okay,
gitu.
awesome.
Kau datang ah?
Oh, masih.
Minta datang, takut tidak orang bah.
Oke, jadi kita boleh atur sudah kan nih. Oke,
Boleh atur.
sini di tengah-tengah kejap.
Kamu nyanyi juga Kak Stefanus? I mean yang kamu nyanyi secara macam commercial.
Oh tidak.
Oh tidak.
Almighty sama
Itu kalau sudah pegang tidak bisa lepas satu mic.
So this song is called What Are You Doing with Someone Else's Husband? Okay, and when I wrote this song kan, I think I really enjoyed the process. I don't know where it took me though. So yeah, this is for the brokenhearted. What are you doing with someone else's husband? I think you've lost your senses, 'cause it makes you feel oh so good. What are you doing with someone else's husband? I bet he makes you feel so great and makes you forget about your brief mistakes. Ooh, ooh, What are you doing with someone else's husband? I'm somewhere between euphoric and half dead, ripping off the things that I've created. Just take what you can and spare some of your breath, 'cause you both are on the losing end, and I no longer give a damn. Just take what you can and don't forget to catch your breath. Again and again, he was never what I needed. He was never even really here for me. You should have repented in sackcloth and ashes a long, long time ago. Ya.
Ada 10 tidak?
Panat dari sini. Okay, this is another song that I love writing. I don't know if the guys enjoy doing it, but I think ya dorang ikut sia-sia kan, and dia sangat chill, pasal dia relax, and yeah, I don't know how you feel about this song, but I think this song also has got it's about something that ya orang buat keluar sabudus ya. Iya, makin panas kan? Oh my gosh. What? Okay, this is just a fool. I want you, but you always try to push me away. And I tried to come real close, and you didn't ask me to stay. Ooh, baby, what are you trying to tell me? What did I do to deserve this? How am I gonna survive this? Oh, but you always try to push me away. And I tried to come real close, and you didn't ask me to stay. Ooh, baby, what are you trying to tell me? What did I do to deserve this? How am I gonna survive this? Oh, 'cause I'm just a fool for you, baby. I don't belong, you're a baby. I'm just a fool for you, baby. I don't belong, you're a baby. 'Cause oh, just a fool for you, baby. I don't belong, you're a baby. I'm just a fool for you, baby. I don't belong, you're a baby. I want you, but you always try to push me away. Thank you.
Asik.
Thank you, guys. Guys, jangan lupa like, subscribe, dan share. Step it up.
Step It Up Lounge, create, share, inspire. Bye.
I didn't start with a band. Saya start macam dari main suahan karaoke gitu.
Okay.
I love to create. Masalah dia ni kan terpandai main instrumen langsung.
What brings you to create The Darkest Night?
I think kan dalam kehidupan kita, we have our dark side lah kan. It's something that we don't wanna show. Dalam ni album pun, I just wanted to open that side of myself, present it as an art. To finish 14 lagu dalam 1 tahun, saya rasa, penat tau, I felt so drained. I told myself, cuma kasih habis saja ini.
Bilang mau rilis lagu sama si Marsha lagi, dia bilang.
Oh my gosh.
Velvet and the Team tidak datang sini tangan kosong. Kita akan dihiburkan dengan performance
Oh
kan?
yeah, can I sing my song?
Oh yes, please, yes please.
Guys, jangan lupa like, subscribe, dan share. Step it up.